Ladies, gentlemen, and undecideds, behold the greatest amplifier ever. No, probably not. But it looks pretty cool, isn't it? This is a Sundown Rambler 25. It's a little practice amp. Gain for the distortion channel, volume, 3-band EQ, and reverb. And a headphone jack. Yeah, this is a practice amp. This was at the pawn shop, and it was so remarkably affordable that it would make a fine little bench amp if it just made noise, and it made noise. I love that the original paperwork is here. So let's read this for everybody's amusement. Let me bring the chair up here and have a seat. Alright, here we go. The Rambler 25 gives you a big tone, but it's portable enough to give you great tone no matter where you are. A smooth and musical overdrive, we'll see about that, setting gives you all the creamy sustain you need at low or high volumes, while the clean channel kicks out a sparkling, soulful tone that's never harsh or brittle. Add a splash of vintage-style spring reverb. Yeah, we'll see about that. And you've got an amp that can take you down any road you choose. The medium size means you can take it almost anywhere, and its conservative rating of 25 watts will give you plenty of headroom and volume wherever you are and wherever you want to go. Features 2-channel, wattage 25, speaker 8-inch custom voiced speaker, digital reverb. Yeah, so how come you guys said it was a spring? And controls input, gain, distortion, treble, mid, bass, reverb, and headphone, and a power switch. Yay. Alright, here we go. Sundown. These guys actually, I think, were 70, or no, they were 80s and 90s, I think. For over 25 years, Sundown has been committed to a great tone that at a great price, and that simple philosophy never goes out of style. One's tone is the critical link between the artist and audience, and as an individual is a fingerprint. Sundown Amps helps you to find your voice by making sure that nothing clouds your vision. Our amp keeps your signal pure, so all they hear is you. Yeah, we'll see about that. Sundown stands behind every product under normal use for 5 years, so if anything goes wrong, we've got your back. Now go and play. Okay, so 5-year warranty on a little practice amp. Alright. Can't be that bad, can it? It did work. It's dirty. The white Tolex looks kind of nicotine yellow brown here, but I don't know if the camera sees that. So we're going to do what we usually do to these. We're going to take it apart and clean it, try to make it look as new as we possibly can. Alright, so we'll take a look inside as we take it down. The one thing I did notice is, like, the pots and stuff, these actually have a really nice feel to them. They don't feel, it does this amp, despite being little and inexpensive, doesn't feel cheap. And I think, you know, anybody who's ever had one of these or had a practice amp knows what I mean when I say it feels cheap. The power switch is in the back, and there's a little fuse. It is a slotted cabinet, but you know, it's got potential. So let's take it apart and see what we find. Okay, so I'm in process of taking this apart, and you can actually see the disgusting, hideous dirt line right there. But the first thing I found was interesting is I took the 4 screws off the back plate, and then there's 4 that hold the chassis onto the back plate. But I went to pull the chassis out, and surprisingly, the handle attaches to 2 nuts here in the chassis. So that gives the handle extra strength and keeps everything together, and is going to keep you from cracking your cabinet more than likely if you drop it. So pretty cool. Now somebody's calling. Okay, so the speaker is soldered to these terminals, which are soldered to the amp. So the path of least resistance is just to unbolt the speaker. Looks like somebody splashed their drink in it, but this actually looks like a proper guitar speaker. It says it's a 4-ohm speaker, G84AK 4-ohm Sundown, blah blah blah. See if there's anything underneath here. No. If there was anything interesting under there, it says Sundown Rocket 8, but I'm assuming this is some kind of Chinesium speaker. I didn't even catch the made in on this. And actually, the way that this amp is mounted to the board, all of these pots are screwed in, so this holds the amp assembly together very, very well. The soldering job is nice. You know, it looks like somebody actually cared when they put this together. Okay, this has got to be the reverb board, PT2399. That's your standard delay chip that they put in karaoke machines. And that's what I figured. Okay, so where is this made? I have no idea. It doesn't say that it's China. It could be. Might not be. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to finish just taking the rest of this body apart, and we'll take this up and wash it and get it all nice and pretty. Basically, other than a bath, the pots aren't even scratchy, so this thing will just get a bath and it's going to be ready to present. This is an easy job for me today. That's okay. This is a fun little project, and it'll make a cool toy to put on the bench. Okay, so here's the glorious Sundown. Unfortunately, there wasn't much I could do about the grill cover, but the rest of it's all been cleaned and shined and is in looking very, very good condition. We took a lot of years off of it. I've got my Gibson guitar. I've got the volume on the clean channel, and it's set at half. So that's actually a nice clean tone. A lot of these little practice amps give a kind of a gritty, crappy sound. It sounds a little on the dark side, so we'll turn up the treble a little bit, see if it brightens up, and we'll add a little bit more volume. That's a big improvement. Check if the mid changer works. Okay, for whatever reason I'm not hearing the mids when I crank them. Let's just scoop them all the way out and make sure they're really gone. Oh yeah, that works just fine. And the bass connector. Normal E, maximum bass, and minimum bass. Yep, so all of those seem to work pretty well. Now let's try that pesky reverb circuit. I noticed I mentioned it was a PT2399 chip. That's generally a slapback chip that you find in a karaoke machine. Now I have not actually auditioned and listened to this other than just doing a noise test on it. So we'll see what it actually does. I have a feeling I know what this is going to sound like though. So. Oh yeah. Yep, it's a slapback. Generic, almost an echoplex. Okay, so that reverb, oh my goodness, that reverb. So anyway, let's see how loud we can actually get under normal circumstances. Okay, that's more impressive than I thought. That taper on that pot is actually kind of nice. It comes up really nice and gradual. And this will play really nice soft bedroom levels, and then when you crank it, it actually cranks. So there's 0. There's about 1, it's just a whisper. 2, 3, 4, half, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, that's actually got decent volume. Now let's try the gain channel and see what we get. This is with, let's just put a little bit of gain on there. Okay, we're still clean. Okay. Now we're hitting breakup territory. Okay, that's not very loud, but that actually works. I'm particularly surprised that that works. Usually I'm waiting for these to sound like I can't stand it. And granted, this is being recorded with a craptastic camera mic, so who knows how good it's going to sound there. Yeah, I think that works just fine. Okay, so that's not quite maximum gain. There's still a little bit more in the tank. Let's see what it does when you max it out. Okay, that's a little over the top, but I kind of like it at like 3/4. And back to the clean channel. Okay, so there's our verdict. There's our finished product. Got it for chump change at the pawn shop and have it cleaned up and looking as nice as it possibly can. Comparing it to some of the other practice amps I've had pass through my hands, you've seen on the channel, I know there's been a Line 6 or 2, and there's been a Fender Frontman and the Gorilla that everybody seems to remember the 80s with. I think this one sounds better than any of those did. Is it a fantabulous amplifier with the most amazing tone of all time? No, but does it sound really good for an amp that originally new list retail price was $100? Yes. So basically, as is, now that it's all fixed up and looking as new as possible, I'm going to probably put it up for sale. But just a fun little weekend project here, and you know, gives me something to play with and to experiment with. This is not the legendary Sundown amps of the 80s, which wasn't really legendary. Essentially, the name has been purchased, and this is basically just a brand stamp, and they still make these. It's a music company that's behind 10 different brands, including Mod Tone pedals. You might have heard them. So same gang that's behind that. But, you know, it's not a bad little amp for what it is. Let's see. Let's put some crazy reverb on this and hear what that sounds like. Okay, so other than having the goofy, over-the-top, modern-day Dan Electro style reverb, pretty cool. I like it. It wins. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.